What's going on, everybody? Antonio here, and I'm dropping another video again. I'm going to be dropping quite a few of these here today, so like I said, expect them to come out the woodworks, but nonetheless, as I mentioned before, there was another subject that I wanted to address, and of course, one of which involving the current pandemic that we're under, and now, as it turns out, 4 new cases of the COVID-19. I know I'm not monetized, so I can't really get penalized. How can I get penalized on any of that stuff? But regardless, point being that now 4 players on the Brooklyn Nets have been confirmed as positive with the COVID-19, including one Kevin Durant. And this one's interesting to me because, oddly enough, I wound up hearing or reading somewhere, I'm not really sure where, at least I don't really remember off the top of my head, but there was a lot of talk about him being very optimistic and even ambitious about returning in June, and that, of course, again, would both be ambitious and optimistic given the climate of things as we know it right now, especially because at the earliest we were probably going to see resume activity in the NBA. I'd say probably within the next couple of months or so. It's really hard to say. I find that honestly to be rather doubtful at this point, but who knows? I mean, as far as this is concerned, it's just really hard to tell at this point. But now you've got this new case involving Durant and 3 other members of the Brooklyn Nets. I think that's actually going to push things out a little bit further now, seeing as how they've been confirmed as positive. And, you know, it's getting to be rather, as I said before, it's getting to be rather alarming how all of this is turning out. I really am at a loss for words, but it was just wild because he was feeling like he'd be able to return in June, given that there was a delay in the schedule and the postponement, but I can't really see that happening anytime right away now that this news is broken, because you've got new cases now, and what makes matters worse is that New York and Washington are the 2 highest rated states as far as the confirmed cases are concerned. And now, with all this coming to light, I really don't know what else to say. I'm honestly at a loss for words, because before all of this broke, I was actually really inclined to believe that that was something that could prove to be feasible, because you've got all these videos with him, you know, playing pickup games, getting dunks in, still able to shoot from wherever the hell he wants because he's Kevin Durant. And of course, you know, you would think based on all of that, he's looking pretty good. So him getting out to the court and everything and actually seeing live NBA action might actually become a reality. But now that's been taken away, and again, I really feel like, and suspension of the NBA, that's what I was wanting to say earlier. Now with these new cases coming out, the suspension is probably going to go on a little bit further, and for all we know, it may actually wind up leading to a complete cancellation. We've already lost the NCAA men's and women's tournaments, as well as the incompletion, if you will, of all of the conference tournaments. And of course, all of the winter and spring sports that were supposed to be going are no longer taking place. It's getting to a point now where I just feel like we are losing out on so much, and yet there's everything that I talked about in the previous video about the NFL. But in all seriousness, though, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how all of this unfolds. I mean, it's not even just this. There was a lot of stuff that took place over the weekend, particularly the UFC. They actually had their show out in Brazil in front of an empty arena. Only essential personnel were allowed. WWE and a lot of the wrestling promotions, AEW and so forth, they're starting to follow suit and all of that. You've had the most recent episodes of both Raw and SmackDown, respectively, actually take place in front of empty crowds, which I'll touch on that on another video here in the next little bit. But you know, at the rate things are going right now, it's going to be very, very hard to imagine how we're going to get a lot of this stuff back. And again, it was just pretty wild seeing all the stuff that was coming out as far as the NFL moves that are being made, because is it going to really matter? I mean, we're not really, at least I don't see a realistic situation where we see anything. We're not going to see mini camps, preseason, or any of that stuff coming along anytime within the next, I'd say, couple of months at the very least. And at the rate things are going, I think we're in danger of losing the 2020 NFL season along with everything else. They're still looking to start Major League Baseball, I think, a couple of weeks into May. I'm not sure what they said that was. But again, at the rate that this is going, I don't see that happening because, you know, again, you've got the state of Washington and New York, who are easily the two worst cases in the country right now, and both states have big sports franchises there that, you know, it's just going to be really hard to imagine how any of those things come to operating here in the near future. I really hope that you guys will excuse it if you are hearing some of the notification alerts that I'm getting, because again, I'm doing this on my phone. But regardless, as I was saying before, you know, I'm really at a point to where I feel like a lot of stuff is in danger of not happening. You know, again, there was this stuff about wrestling where I'll talk about that in another video. They're moving WrestleMania to the WWE Performance Center, so that'll be interesting. But at the same time, I'm kind of wondering if even that is going to be something that we see here. But who knows? It's getting to be really tricky at this point, and I'm at a point now to where I'm starting to think that we're just gonna wind up losing a lot more than what we already have. But hopefully, I'm wrong about that. I hate looking at it that way, but the reality of it is that things are turning in a direction that really doesn't seem to be helping anything at all. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. If you feel like I'm wrong about that, definitely let me know. Definitely like if you enjoy the content. Subscribe if you are new. Definitely get the word about these videos out. Share with everybody that you know. And have a good one.